South of New Zealand, a cluster of islands rises from the Southern Ocean. These are the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands, a remote and wild archipelago. Uninhabitable and unforgiving, they are nevertheless teeming with life. Penguins waddle along the shores, albatrosses soar overhead, and seals bask on the rocky beaches. These islands are a living laboratory, offering insights into evolution and adaptation. The isolation of the islands has led to the evolution of endemic species. These are plants and animals found nowhere else on Earth, making the Sub-Antarctics a haven for biodiversity. This is a story of isolation, adaptation, and the incredible biodiversity that thrives in the face of harsh conditions. The Sub-Antarctic Islands exist in a world of extremes. The climate is harsh and unpredictable, with fierce winds driving rain and freezing temperatures. Yet life finds a way. Plants have adapted to the wind and salt spray, forming low-lying carpets of vegetation. These hardy plants provide sustenance for a surprising variety of insects and invertebrates. The islands are a haven for seabirds, with millions nesting on the cliffs and shores. Albatrosses, petrels, and penguins are among the most iconic residents. These birds undertake epic journeys across the ocean, returning to the islands to breed and raise their young. The sheer numbers of seabirds create a cacophony of sound, a testament to the abundance of life in this remote corner of the world. Beneath the waves, the waters surrounding the islands are equally teeming with life. Seals and sea lions haul out on the beaches, while whales and dolphins patrol the surrounding waters. The New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands are a product of powerful geological forces. Born from volcanic activity millions of years ago, these islands represent the peaks of vast underwater mountain ranges. The Southern Ocean, often whipped into a frenzy by strong winds, crashes against dramatic cliffs. Each island group possesses a unique character, shaped by its specific location and geological history. The snares, closest to the mainland, are small and densely vegetated. The Auckland Islands, much larger, feature dramatic fjords carved by ancient glaciers. The volcanic origin of the islands provides nutrient-rich soils, supporting a surprising diversity of plant life. The climate of the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands is a study in contrasts. Located within the furious 50s latitudes, these islands are subject to strong westerly winds that drive powerful ocean currents. Despite their location within the high latitudes, the islands experience a surprisingly temperate climate. Average temperatures range from 5 degrees Celsius in winter to 11 degrees Celsius in summer. Rainfall is high throughout the year, averaging over 1,300 millimeters annually. The combination of high rainfall and cool temperatures creates a humid environment, ideal for the growth of mosses, lichens, and ferns. The combined forces of wind, water, and ice have sculpted the dramatic landscapes of the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands. Over millions of years, these forces have carved out sea caves, arches, and towering cliffs that leave visitors in awe. Inland, the island's topography is equally varied. Rolling hills, covered in a mosaic of vegetation, give way to steep-sided valleys carved by ancient glaciers. Waterfalls cascade down cliff faces, adding to the symphony of natural sounds. Volcanic rocks, formed from cooled lava flows, provide evidence of the island's fiery origins. The New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands are a geological wonderland, shaped by the interplay of fire, ice, and the relentless forces of the Southern Ocean. The New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands are a haven for seabirds, their shores and skies teeming with life. Millions of birds, representing a staggering diversity of species, depend on these islands for breeding and nesting. Albatrosses, with their impressive wingspans and graceful flight, are perhaps the most iconic residents of the sub-Antarctic. Petrels, smaller than albatrosses but no less impressive in their own right, form massive colonies on the island's slopes. Penguins, flightless but perfectly adapted to life at sea, are another common sight on the islands. These charismatic birds, with their waddling gait and sleek black and white plumage, gather in large colonies on the beaches. The islands also host a variety of shags, cormorants, and gulls, each species occupying a specific niche in the ecosystem. The waters surrounding the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands are as rich in life as the islands themselves. These waters, teeming with krill, squid, and fish, attract a variety of marine mammals, including several species of seals and whales. Elephant seals, the largest of all seals, are a common sight on the island's beaches. Fur seals, once hunted to near extinction for their luxurious pelts, are now making a remarkable comeback in the sub-Antarctic. Sea lions, larger and more robust than fur seals, are also frequent visitors to the islands. The waters surrounding the islands are also home to a variety of whale species. Southern right whales, once on the brink of extinction due to whaling, are now a more common sight. While the seabirds and marine mammals may be the most visible inhabitants of the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands, a closer look reveals a world teeming with life in miniature. Insects, adapted to the wind and cold, play a crucial role in the island's ecosystems. Flightless weevils, carnivorous caterpillars, and giant wingless flies are just a few examples of the unique invertebrate fauna found in this remote corner of the world. Spiders, some with surprisingly large webs, spin their silken traps among the vegetation, preying on unsuspecting insects. The diversity of invertebrates on the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands underscores the importance of these islands as biodiversity hotspots. Life on the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands is a constant struggle for survival. The harsh climate, limited resources, and isolation present unique challenges for the island's inhabitants. Yet, over millennia, the plants and animals of the sub-Antarctic have adapted to thrive in this extreme environment. Thick fur, layers of blubber, and the ability to slow down their metabolism help them conserve heat during the long, cold winters. Seabirds, for example, time their breeding seasons to coincide with the abundance of food in the surrounding waters. Despite the challenges, life on the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands persists, a testament to the resilience of nature and the power of adaptation. The human story of the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands is a tale woven from threads of exploration, exploitation, and ultimately, conservation. Long before Europeans arrived, Polynesian voyagers braved the treacherous Southern Ocean, their canoes navigating by the stars. Evidence suggests these intrepid explorers reached the islands as early as the 13th century, leaving behind artifacts that whisper of their presence. The arrival of Europeans, beginning in the late 18th century, marked a turning point in the island's history. The discovery of abundant fur seals in the late 18th century set off a frenzy of exploitation. Sealers, drawn by the lucrative fur trade, established camps on the islands, decimating seal populations within a few short decades. The sealers who descended upon the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands were a hardy and often ruthless breed. Motivated by profit, they endured harsh conditions and faced considerable risks in their pursuit of seal fur. Life on the islands was brutal, with men living in primitive conditions and facing constant danger from the elements and the unforgiving environment. The sealers' methods were as brutal as their lifestyle. Clubbed, speared, and skinned, seals were slaughtered by the thousands, their fur destined for markets in Europe and North America. The once abundant populations of fur seals, elephant seals, and sea lions were decimated. Some species were hunted almost to extinction. The impact of this uncontrolled slaughter was devastating. Not only did the seal populations plummet, but the island's ecosystems were disrupted. The removal of top predators had cascading effects throughout the food web, impacting other species and altering the delicate balance of life on the islands. As seal numbers dwindled, the sealers moved on, leaving behind a legacy of destruction. Their camps, littered with bones and the remnants of their grisly trade, stand as stark reminders of the consequences of unchecked exploitation. The story of the sealers serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting the fragility of island ecosystems and the devastating impact of human greed. The sealers who descended upon the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands were a hardy and often ruthless breed. Motivated by profit, they endured harsh conditions and faced considerable risks in their pursuit of seal fur. Life on the islands was brutal, with men living in primitive conditions and facing constant danger from the elements. The sealers' methods were as brutal as their lifestyle. Clubbed, speared and skinned, seals were slaughtered by the thousands. The once abundant populations of fur seals, elephant seals and sea lions were decimated. Some species were hunted almost to extinction. The impact of this uncontrolled slaughter was devastating. Not only did the seal populations plummet, but the island's ecosystems were disrupted. The removal of top predators had cascading effects throughout the food web. As seal numbers dwindled, the sealers moved on, leaving behind a legacy of destruction. Their camps, littered with bones and the remnants of their grisly trade, stand as stark reminders of the consequences of unchecked exploitation. The story of the sealers serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting the fragility of island ecosystems and the devastating impact of human greed. The treacherous waters surrounding the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands have claimed countless ships and left many sailors stranded on their shores. Tales of shipwreck and survival are woven into the very fabric of the island's history, testaments to human resilience and the unforgiving nature of the Southern Ocean. The most famous shipwreck story is that of the Grafton in 1864, leaving 5 crew members stranded for 18 months. They survived on seals and seabirds before repairing a boat to sail to New Zealand. These stories highlight the challenges of navigating these treacherous waters. The wrecks serve as silent reminders of the perils of the sea and the enduring human spirit. Recognizing the ecological significance of the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands, the New Zealand government took a bold step in 1998. They declared the entire region a national nature reserve, granting it the highest level of protection under New Zealand law. This designation acknowledges the island's unique biodiversity and the importance of safeguarding their fragile ecosystems for future generations. The Department of Conservation, a government agency tasked with protecting New Zealand's natural and historical heritage, shoulders the responsibility of managing the sub-Antarctic islands. Dock rangers, stationed on several of the islands, work tirelessly to monitor wildlife populations, control invasive species, and maintain the pristine environment. One of the most pressing challenges facing conservation efforts is the threat posed by invasive species. Rats, mice, and cats, accidentally introduced to some of the islands during the sealing and whaling eras, have had a devastating impact on native wildlife. These predators, with no natural enemies in the island's delicately balanced ecosystems, decimated ground-nesting bird populations and disrupted the natural order. DOC has implemented ambitious eradication programs, utilizing a combination of trapping, baiting, and aerial drops of poison to remove these invasive predators. These efforts have met with considerable success, with several islands now declared rodent-free, allowing native species to recover and thrive once again. The remoteness of the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands, while contributing to their pristine nature, also presents significant logistical challenges for conservation efforts. Transporting personnel and supplies to the islands is a complex and weather-dependent operation, often involving helicopters and small boats. The harsh weather conditions, characterized by strong winds, high rainfall, and unpredictable storms, further complicate conservation work. Rangers must be resourceful and adaptable, able to work independently and cope with challenging situations. Despite the challenges, DOC rangers and scientists remain committed to their work. They conduct vital research, monitoring wildlife populations, studying the impacts of climate change, and gathering data to inform conservation strategies. The island's isolation also limits the number of visitors allowed each year. Access is strictly controlled, with permits required for any landings. This careful management helps to minimize the risk of introducing new pests and diseases, ensuring that the islands remain a sanctuary for wildlife. Tourism, though limited, plays a crucial role in raising awareness about the importance of the sub-Antarctic islands. Expedition cruise ships, offering carefully controlled landings, allow a select few to experience the wonders of this remote and fragile ecosystem, fostering a sense of stewardship and appreciation for the need for conservation. The future of the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands is linked to humanity's actions. Climate change poses the greatest threat to these fragile ecosystems. Rising sea levels and ocean acidification disrupt the balance of life. As a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the islands show our planet's interconnectedness. What happens here affects the entire Southern Ocean and beyond. The fate of unique wildlife rests in humanity's hands. International cooperation and sustainable practices are essential. The New Zealand government invests in research and conservation. Once symbols of exploitation, the islands now represent hope. They show that with commitment, we can protect our treasures. The story of these islands reminds us that the future of our planet is a shared responsibility. The New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands stand as a testament to nature's resilience and the importance of conservation. Forged by volcanic fire and sculpted by the Southern Ocean, these islands harbor unique life. From albatrosses to invertebrates, life thrives in this extreme environment. The islands are a living laboratory of evolution, offering valuable insights. Conservation efforts have helped recover near-extinct species, offering hope for the future. Declaring the islands a National Nature Reserve and UNESCO World Heritage Site ensures their preservation. The New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands, though geographically distant, hold a profound significance for us all. They are a reminder of the interconnectedness of our planet, where the fate of a remote island ecosystem can have far-reaching consequences. The island's vulnerability to climate change, a global challenge driven by human activities, underscores the urgent need for collective action to address this pressing issue. The enduring allure of the sub-Antarctic islands lies in their untamed beauty, their unique wildlife, and the sense of awe they inspire. These islands offer a glimpse into a world untouched by many of the pressures facing our planet, a world where nature's rhythms remain largely undisturbed. The challenges of conserving these remote islands are significant, but the rewards are immeasurable. By protecting the sub-Antarctic islands, we are not only safeguarding a treasure trove of biodiversity, but also preserving a legacy for future generations. The call of the wild echoes from these remote shores, urging us to listen, to learn, and to act. The future of the New Zealand Sub-Antarctic Islands, and indeed the health of our planet, depends on our willingness to heed this call and work together to protect the wonders of the natural world.